This is the next episode of my holiday movie marathon, and it will be the last episode. The holidays really got to me, so I didn't have the time to film, but I did actually end up watching all of my movies, so that's cool. I hope you enjoy, and we'll do another movie thing soon. Week 2 of my movie marathon, I was watching the sequels to holiday films, and the tough thing about a sequel is the sequel has to be as good as or better than the original, and that's what a sequel needs to do for me. Otherwise, there's no point in the movie even existing to me. In this sequels video, I might be referring to the originals, and I might accidentally spoil the original. So if you haven't seen the originals and you are wanting to see the originals, go ahead, watch my first video if you care. Watch that one first and then watch this one after you've seen the sequels. But if you don't care, then keep watching. The first sequel that I'm gonna be talking about is The Christmas Chronicles 2. And if you saw my first episode, you know that I love me some Kurt Russell and some Goldie Hawn. So Christmas Chronicles 2 honestly was the movie of this year that I've been looking forward to seeing, and it did not disappoint. So Christmas Chronicles 2 takes place 2 years after, I think it's like 2 years, it might be 1 year after the original movie. It has the same returning cast as the first movie and some extra cast members who were not in the first, but really do add a lot to the second. Just like the original, this movie is also an action adventure, which makes Santa Claus, I think, a lot more fun when he's an action character. But Kurt Russell, obviously, if he's gonna play a character, that character is gonna be a mover and a shaker. They're not gonna be a lazy bum who doesn't do anything. He's gonna be up doing crazy stuff. So the plot for Christmas Chronicles 2 is pretty much that, you know, Santa's doing his thing. It's Christmas time. It's almost Christmas Day, and the young girl from the original, so the little girl Kate, she's getting jealous because her mom has started to date a new man, and you know, as you've seen in the first one, she had lost her dad, and so her mom's now, you know, exploring the world, which is great, and moving on with her life, which is great. But Kate, she's not dealing with any of this well. She's, you know, missing her father, which is understandable. So the mom's new boyfriend is being so kind to the mom and the family and takes them on an island vacation for the holidays. Kate is not having this. She wants to have her normal white Christmas holiday, you know, and I'm not mad at that. I understand that. I do agree that an island Christmas is not the same as a normal Christmas, a normal white Christmas that she's used to. I'm from LA, so, you know, Christmas to me, there's no snow, it's palm trees, you know? So I understand, like, if you want to have that white Christmas experience that you're used to, and then you're just on an island. So she's having a hard time coping with that. It's not something she's used to, and she just wants Santa to take her away for that time being, and she wants to help with Christmas again. Even though she's the one who helped ruin it last time, but you know. So, the antagonist in this movie is actually an elf who's gone bad, which is really interesting. The elf gone bad is played by Julian Dennison, who I've seen in a few other movies, and he's an amazing actor. I feel like I mentioned this in my last video, but to get a child actor to be really good is a hard task, you know? And he has been great in many movies that I've seen him in. So I knew he was a great one to try to make the antagonist of this film. In this film, you also find out what the Christmas Chronicles actually are, because they are something. And you find out the stories of, or the origin stories of Santa Claus. And I love origin stories. And this origin story is really great because it really takes different aspects of who Santa Claus is and where Santa Claus came from, all of those legends, and kind of combines them and shows that, you know, a story can change as it passes through different hands. So it's really great to see what this supposed origin story is and how Santa came to be Santa Claus, and also how he has some of the magic that he does have, what that source is, and how he protects that source. You also get to know the reindeers a lot better. A lot of characters that were in the first original make a return, and you get to know them a lot better, which I really appreciate, especially my Goldie Hawn. So Goldie Hawn plays Mrs. Claus, and Mrs. Claus has a much larger role in this Christmas Chronicles 2 than she did in the first one. In the first one, you just get a little sneak peek of her at the end, and she looked amazing. And in this Christmas Chronicles 2, not only does she look amazing, but I really honestly feel that Goldie Hawn is just one of the nicest people in general, one of the most hopeful people that I've ever seen speak. And she just seems like a lovely, beautiful, open person, and she really brings that into this role as well. And I feel like, I'm not sure, but I feel like she probably had a large hand in the characterization of her character, because her character was very heartfelt and generous and wise. Hey, whatever. My dog was choking and throwing up because he eats my shoes. But you know, that's what you get for eating shoes. I try to take them away. I try to punish him. I try it all, but I think he just needs to eat the shoes, choke on the shoes, throw up the shoes, make it feel terrible so he doesn't keep eating the shoes. I don't know what to do at this point. That's a side note. I apologize. Where was I? I think I was talking about Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn is an angel. That's it. I'll leave it at that. She is an angel. I'm sure in real life she's like a Christmas angel. So when she played this role of Mrs. Claus, it was perfect. I think that role worked really well for her because she left a large piece of her soul in it. Okay, so Christmas Chronicles 2, I do think succeeded in... Stop looking at me, dog. I think Christmas Chronicles 2 succeeded in being better than the original. Congratulations, Christmas Chronicles 2, yay! So, if you're into family movies, or you're into action movies, or you're just into doing what I tell you, because I freaking love Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. Did I mention that? Watch this movie because it has Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, and they're together and a happy couple, and they work together, and it's amazing. If you want to see a movie with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn and they don't work together well as a couple, then you should watch Overboard. That is one of my all-time favorite films. And that's actually my grandma's favorite movie, and she would she would watch that all the time. I probably shouldn't have been watching it as a kid with her because it's not super appropriate. But if you want to see Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn go at it as a couple, but not really a couple, then watch Overboard. Again, one of my favorite movies. That's why I like Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn so much, I think. Because I started watching that movie when I was really young. That one, Overboard, is the great one. But this one, with them now, as the adults they are now, is just a beautiful thing to see. Okay, moving on. I watched Home Alone 2 was the next sequel I saw. And if you saw my first episode, you'll know that I didn't really care for Home Alone. Am I the only one in the world who doesn't care for Home Alone? Perhaps. Do I care? Not really. Home Alone 2. I really enjoyed Home Alone 2. I didn't enjoy Home Alone 1 because I didn't feel like it was extremely plausible. I didn't see how some of the choices made sense. They just didn't make sense to me. But Home Alone 2 made a whole lot of sense. I think it really saved itself from the first one. So, Home Alone 2, the family again is going on yet another holiday vacation. Why? I don't know. But seems like they really just need to try staying home altogether one year, because these large vacations don't work out. In Home Alone 2, it seems to take place the year after. I think, yes, just the year after the original. And everyone again is back to being extremely rude to the young boy, which I didn't understand from the first, because he's not like, excuse me, but he's not a dick to anybody in his family, really. And everyone else is just kind of rude to him. The mom tells him, again, it's just funny to me, the words that the mom utters to her children. Like, these are things I would never say to my kids, ever. They wouldn't come out of my mouth. They wouldn't even be thought in my head. Well, if I did think them, I would never say them out loud, because words have power, and I think the mom just manifests what happens. It's her fault. She's putting the ideas into the boy's mind, and this is why he is the way he is. So the mom tells him, you should go on your own vacation for the holidays. And that's what ends up happening. By accident, though, so it's not super the little boy's fault. So he accidentally gets onto the wrong plane after trying to follow his family onto the right plane, which they don't check for him, but whatever. And he happens to have his dad's wallet on him. So the plane he gets onto isn't to Florida with the rest of the family. I don't know what's with these kids and not wanting to have like an island Christmas, but that's fine. They want white Christmases. I get that. So he accidentally gets on a plane going to New York instead of to Florida. He has his dad's wallet. His mom told him go on his own freaking vacation by himself. So here it is. It's happening. He goes to New York, finds a way to get a room at a very ritzy hotel, and he starts his own vacation, which I completely applaud, and I would do the same thing, to be honest. While he's on his new vacation by himself, he is exploring the town of New York City, and he runs into, guess who? Guess who he runs into? Not his family. He runs into the robbers who robbed him in the original. Okay? They were let out because, jails are full or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know or remember why, but they escaped. They escaped out. It wasn't like anything super crazy. So the hotel is also starting to suspect that he is there by himself and that his dad is not with him. So he runs back to the hotel and he bunkers down in the room, and he's now hiding from the bad guys from the original and from the hotel staff, who are trying to just pin him instead of anything else. I don't know why, but whatever. It's movies. As in the original, the young boy now has to defend himself against these people trying to get into his room. And he does, his classic tricks from the original, which I do like and appreciate, and it starts a lot earlier than the original, which I also had a problem with. I felt like the fun, good part didn't even start until the last 30 minutes. So these shenanigans got started a lot earlier than that, so I appreciate that. Also, I understand now the filthy animals, reference, so that's cool. Yes, he combines his old tricks with his new tricks to defend himself in this hotel room. I do suggest you see this one. It is a fun one. If you're gonna spend time watching any Home Alones, which I haven't seen the third or fourth ones, but is it with a whole other kid? I don't know how many are made with Macaulay. That's a hard name. Macaulay. I don't know how many are made with Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin. That's a hard one to say. Macaulay Culkin. I don't know how many are made with him. I think 1, 2, and 3, I want to say. But I know at some point it's just a different kid. I don't know if it's a different family, but it's a different kid. I would say out of all of the Home Alones, watch Home Alone 2, because, I feel like someone can just talk you through the first one and you'll be okay. Don't spend your time watching it. I wouldn't. Okay, the next movie I watched was The Princess Switch 2. Now, as I said in my first episode, I love Hallmarkian style anything. It doesn't even have to be holiday related. I just like that feeling of there's gonna be a love story and it's gonna end in a happy, nice, way. Even if something bad happens, there's still gonna be a silver lining ending. So I appreciate that from Hallmark style movies. And I know I'm not the only one who knows like a Hallmark movie is gonna end in a sweet, loving way, and your heart is just gonna be either happy or not feeling anything. It's not gonna be sad, and I appreciate that. So Princess Switch 2, again, is a Hallmarkian style film, but it has Netflix money behind it. We love that Netflix money, honey. So, Princess Switch 2 kind of is going to be exactly what you would imagine from, you know, the Princess Switch, and then a sequel of the Princess Switch. So again, it's the holidays. It's a year or two after the original. Vanessa Ann Hudgens plays not only 2 roles in this one, but she plays a 3rd role as well, which is really what makes this one a little bit different than the original. But again, pretty predictable. If you were gonna make a sequel to the Princess Switch, the obvious thing to do, I think, is to add another cousin who also looks like them, and exactly how they did, an evil cousin who also looks like them, who gets switched up in in their Princess Switch. So in this one, the Princess of Belgravia is about to become the Queen of Belgravia, and she's gonna have her coronation. So everyone is out to come visit her and support her in her, you know, new endeavor. Her and her mans has broken up, so that's part of what is in the plot for this film, of, you know, conspiring to get them back together. And the 3rd cousin, this new cousin, she's you know, a socialite, and she is out of money, honey, and she is trying to conspire to so that she can get some of that royal family money that she wants so bad. Stacy and Margaret are going to pull a Princess Switch kind of move, and she throws herself in the mix. So that's a really interesting dynamic to see Vanessa Hudgens play like all 3 of those roles when they are somewhat different, you know. An elegant, high-ranking socialite, an American girl, and a high-ranking socialite who is just, you know, unkind and very selfish. So it's a fun one. If you like to have fun with movies, if you like to see happy endings, this is one for you. The official title of this one is Christmas Vacation 2, Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure. Alright, this is the one out of all of the ones on the sequels that I was least looking forward to, or that I had the lowest expectations of to begin with. And that's only because in this one, everyone knows that Chevy Chase is not actually in this film. And how much he has to do with this one, probably very little. But honestly, it wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was gonna be. Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure, it opens with, you know, it stars Cousin Eddie, and Cousin Eddie seems to be very similar to a Homer Simpson type character, which I think was a good move for his character, to make him, yes, dumb, but, you know, a certain type of dumb. And I think they play that pretty well. So Cousin Eddie works at a nuclear testing facility, and he is, like I said, Homer Simpson dumb, and he ends up losing his job, but the company is giving him a Christmas vacation. Cousin Eddie, he gets a vacation, a paid vacation for his family, because the nuclear testing facility is letting him go. It starts to turn into a Gilligan's Island type film, which, you know, again, is a good decision with what they are being asked to do. So the characters who end up going is an older character who's, I'm pretty sure, the grandpa. One of the younger female cousins. The tour guide lady. A younger son of Cousin Eddie's and Cousin Eddie's wife, and I believe that's it. So they get stuck on a boat for a while, and then they're stuck on an island for a while, and you know, it's a movie. If I were watching a whole marathon in a day of different movies, I wouldn't willingly put this on, but if it came on and I was trying to like transition into something else, then I'd probably just leave this on. If it came on TV, I'd leave it on. But I wouldn't turn it on. Does that make sense? Does it age well? I'm not sure if it ages well because it's kind of pervy. There's a lot of pervy moments, grandpa pervy moments, and young boy pervy moments, and they're not that bad compared to our next movie, which is my favorite movie that I've watched so far for this movie marathon. This next movie is a movie that I will watch all year long. It doesn't have to be holiday time. And that movie is Bad Santa 2. So in Bad Santa 2, Bad Santa 2 takes place 13 years after the original, and that means the young boy who is 8 in the original, he is now 21 in this one. And the plot starts off as the boy is coming to visit with Bad Santa, and I guess he comes on and off throughout the years to visit with Bad Santa, and Bad Santa kind of, you know, entertains him for a bit and turns him away. So the young boy is back now because he has turned 21, and he was promised by Bad Santa that Bad Santa would get his cherry popped for his 21st birthday, which, you know, sounds like Bad Santa. So he helps try to make that happen, and in the meantime, their old friend returns. Their old friend Marcus returns with a new plot, with a new plan to get some money for the holidays. This new holiday plot, it includes one other element, one other person they need to do this, to pull off this holiday plot. They need one more crew member for this plot. So Marcus doesn't tell Willie, Bad Santa, who the third person is going to be, who plays Bad Santa's mother. So that is a whole huge hilarious dynamic that goes on with Bad Santa 2. And I love Bad Santa 2 because I kind of mentioned in my original OGs video, but in Bad Santa 1, it's great because it is universally offensive, and Bad Santa 2, it's later on, but you know, being universally offensive is way more frowned upon in this time that this movie came out, Bad Santa 2. So in it, they kind of are still being offensive, but doing it in a way that is way more appropriate, because just calling people names or making fun of people. They are constantly trying to be politically correct, and while trying to be politically correct, they are being offensive. So it is quite an entertaining thing to see. So if you really were offended by the first one, I'm not gonna say watch the second one because you might not like it still, because it is still offensive, but it is way less offensive directly. It is more indirectly offensive. And it again gets you cheering for these guys even though they are, you know, criminals. It gets you cheering for them and wanting them to win, which I think is a great thing for a film to do, to get you cheering for probably someone that you shouldn't be cheering for. And also, again, gets you emotionally invested in the characters unexpectedly, because you don't really realize how much you like these characters until something bad starts happening to them, and you want to defend them. You want them to win. It has those moments where all of a sudden you're crying because it's emotional and beautiful. You didn't realize you were that invested. Just like in Bad Santa, the original, those moments are quickly taken away, and you're bounced back into reality, and then you silently wipe your tears off as you're watching the next action sequence. I don't want to give you too much of the movie, but there's another potential love interest for Bad Santa, which is always entertaining, because when you have a man just like Billy Bob Thornton's character, when there's a man like that, there's not a lot of women who can wrangle that man. So seeing any kind of potential interest, love interest, sexual interest, whatever it may be, is just very fascinating. The type of women he tends to attract, because he, you know, is interested in whomever, whenever, and not all women are interested in him, but very particular types of women are. So those are very interesting characters as well. And I do think Bad Santa 2 does top the original, and that is the goal. That is the goal for all of these sequels. And if I'm gonna watch any of these movies, it's gonna be that one, Bad Santa 2, all year long, baby. I'm watching that movie all year long. Just the whole dynamic between Kathy Bates and Billy Bob Thornton is worth the watch, because that is one messed up family dynamic. So if you're interested in a movie that's going to be politically correct, then watch this one. And again, just because this movie has a mother in it doesn't mean you should watch it with your mother, because you definitely should not. Don't watch this with your mother. Don't watch this with anyone you would be embarrassed around. And if you think you won't get embarrassed with this movie, good for you, okay? But if I sat there with my mother or my grandmother or my aunts or just some of my friends, I would feel uncomfortable. So that's your warning. So this is the final look. It's good. It's good, right? It's pretty decent. It's fun. I wish I had a necklace, but I think because these earrings are dangly, it's okay. So I hope you enjoyed watching and talking about the sequels of these original holiday films. I think one important thing that I haven't really talked about is what I consider to be a holiday movie. And I really think, for me, because it's pretty controversial, but I think for me, what makes a holiday movie, it can't just be Christmas time. It can't just be the holiday time. I need the holidays to be either like almost like a whole other character themselves. That's how important it is. Or it has to be so hardcore holiday that you can't deny that it's happening during the holidays. Does that make sense? So I don't want to just have a movie and it's happening in December and there's just a couple stockings up and that's holiday, you know? Happens at Christmas time. It's not that Christmas is important. It's not the motive. It's not the driving force. You know, I need holidays to be mentioned, to be part of the force that pushes the film along. And that's what I think a good holiday film is, going to match what I'm looking for in holiday. So I'm so excited to watch those. I hope you're excited to watch those. And I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. It can only get better from here. Happy holidays from Savvy Days.